Good morning, friends. We did our chapter on polynomials. If you remember polynomials, then we had ax square plus bx plus c is a quadratic polynomial, and a quadratic polynomial has got a degree 2 that we also did. So it can either have no real roots or one real root or at maximum two real roots. Because the degree is 2, there are three possibilities here. Okay? But what is the meaning of the word root? We did in the previous chapter that also. This is a quadratic polynomial in one variable, x is the variable here, where a is not equal to 0. So when this polynomial is equal to 0, this has now become a quadratic equation. It has become a quadratic equation. When ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0, then we have a quadratic equation provided a is not equal to 0. So when the degree of the equation is 2, it is called a quadratic equation. Now in this chapter, what are we going to do? We know how to find the roots of the quadratic equation, the alpha and the beta, by splitting the middle term. But we will see not all quadratic equations can be solved by that method. So we are going to learn new methods now to solve such quadratic equations. But first of all, what we need to do, we need to identify quadratic equations. So I have written a few equations on the board. Now why do we got the equation? You can see this equal to sign. So we have got these equations here where there are polynomials on both sides, okay? And with certain powers. Now first step is to check whether they are quadratic equations. How do we check? To do that we have to expand the whole thing. X minus 2 the whole square minus 1. So you apply a minus b the whole square is a square minus 2 into x, 2x into 2. So 4x plus 4 is the expansion of this, minus 1 equal to 2x minus 3. This implies x square, 2x comes on this side, becomes minus. So minus 4x minus 2x is minus 6x. Minus 3 comes on this side, becomes plus 3. So 3 minus 1 is 2, plus 2 equal to 0. So we got this equation. Compare. Is the highest power 2? So this is in the form ax square plus bx plus c, where a is 1, b is minus 6, c is 2. So this is a quadratic equation. Now look at the next one. Same way, x into x, x square plus x into 1 is x plus 8 equal to a plus b into a minus b. X plus 2 into x minus 2 is a square minus b square. 2 square is 4. Now, when I bring the x square here, it becomes negative. So x square minus x square becomes 0. So that is cut off because it becomes negative here. What is remaining? X. Minus 4 comes on this side, becomes plus 4. 8 plus 4, 12. Now you can see after solving this, we got x plus 12. Then power is not 2. So this is not a quadratic equation. Let us see the third one. X into 2x is 2x square plus x into 3 is 3x is x square plus 1. Bring the x square on this side. So 2x square minus x square is x square plus 3x remains as it is. Plus 1 comes on this side, becomes minus 1 equal to 0. So this is again a quadratic equation because the degree is 0. So this is in the form ax square plus bx plus c, where a is equal to 1, b is equal to 3, c is equal to minus 1. So in the first step we have seen what? We have understood what are quadratic equations. So when certain equations are given to you, you will first expand them, simplify them and rewrite them. And if you get it in the form of ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0, then it is a quadratic equation. Otherwise it is not a quadratic equation. Okay. Now here we have a question. Area of a plot is 528 meters square. So a person is going to see a plot. Okay. When he sees the plot, he sees the area of the plot is 528 meters square. And he forgets the length and the breadth of the plot, but he remembers the length was 1 meter more than twice the breadth. This much he remembered. What he remembered? that the area of the plot was 528 meters square and the length of the plot was 1 meter more than twice the breadth. So, can we help him calculate the length and the breadth of the plot? Can we help him? So, this is a practical example. Again, I tell you, a person went to see a plot and he remembered the area of the plot was 528 meters square and he remembered the length was 1 meter more than twice the breadth in meters. But he forgot what was the length and the breadth. Can we help him find the length and the breadth of the plot? So let us say the breadth of the plot was x meter. So by that relationship, what would the length be? It is 1 meter more than twice the breadth. So it is 2x plus 1 meter. How? The length is 1 meter more than twice the breadth. And we know area equal to length into breadth. Or I will write the other way now. It is the same thing. Length into breadth equal to the area of the plot. So length is 2x plus 1. The breadth is x. And the area is 528. So this is what the person remembered. What he remembered, the area of the plot was 528 meters square and the length was 1 meter more than twice the breadth. So if we solve this, we get 2x square, x into 2x square plus x into 1 is x equal to 528, which gives us 2x square plus x minus 528 equal to 0. So we got this equation as a quadratic form, ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0. So the person remembered the area of the plot and he remembered the length is 1 meter more than twice the breadth, but he forgot what was the length and the breadth. We are supposed to help him to find out. Okay. Now what are we going to do here? How do you know to solve this equation? We'll try using splitting the middle term. Let us try that. So what we will do here first, we have to multiply a into c. So 2 into 528. What is 528? 2 into 264. Okay, so we'll write here, we'll try to do it first. 528, 2, we get 264, 2, 132, 266, 233, 311. So in this two we have got, so this we will write 2 into 2, 2 into 2 into 2, 3, 4 times. So it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4 and this 2, 5 into 3 into 11. So these are the factors that we have. Now to split the factors in such a way we get the difference of positive 1. So what will we do? 2 into 2 into 2 into 2 into 2. So this is 32 and 11 3s are 33. So we can write this as 32 into 33. Can you see? I got the difference of 1. So what I can do here? Since this is positive, I will write plus 33x minus 32x minus 528 equal to 0. Now this is the tricky part here which you will have to practice a lot. Okay, this is the sum we are doing, but this is the tricky part to practice. You have to first multiply a into c. So 528 into 2. Find the factors. I did it. I got all the factors. Now you have to make the combination of these factors in such a way that you get the difference of 1 here, because the coefficient here is plus 1. So this is what I got. So if I take the x common, I get 2x plus 33 minus 32 common. No, it should not be 32. I will get 16 common here. 16 into 2x. Now let us see. Is 16 to 33 528? 2 into 2 into 2 into 2, 16 and 33. So we get 33 equal to 0. So the factors are 2x plus 33 and x minus 16 equal to 0. Okay. So if 2x plus 33 is 0, then it implies x is equal to plus 33 goes on this side minus 33 upon 2 or x equal to minus 16, so x equal to 16. Since a negative length and breadth cannot be there, then x is equal to 16. So let us check. The breadth is 16 and the length is 2x plus 1. So 16 2s are 32 plus 1, 33. So the breadth is 16 meter, the length is 33 meter. 33 into 16 will give us 528. So based on what we remembered, we did a practical sum of how to make a quadratic equation. Based on the data given to us, we made a quadratic equation, we solved it, and we helped the person to find the length and the breadth of the plot. Such situations rarely occur, but in case they do occur, we can help the people find out such the roots. Okay. Now before we change this, you have also understood this is my quadratic equation 2x square plus x minus 5 equal to 0, and these are the roots or the solutions. What does the root or solution mean? If I put the value of x here is minus 33 by 2, here I put minus 33 by 2 and here I put minus 33 by 2, I should get a 0. Means 2 into minus 32 by 2 the whole square minus 33 by 2 minus 528. Should we check it out? Let us check it out. 2 minus 33 by 2 the whole square plus minus 33 by 2 minus 528. So we get 2, 33 square is how much? 1089 upon 4 minus 33 upon 2 minus 528. 2 ones are 2 twos are. So 1089 minus 33. 6501. So I get 1056 upon 2 minus 528. 1056 upon 2 is 528. 5 minus 528 minus 528 is 0. So when I put x equal to minus 33 by 2 here, I get equal to 0. If I put x equal to 16 here, I will get the same answer. So these two are the roots of the equation. In the previous lecture we saw in the chapter number 2 polynomials, one we called alpha and one we called beta. And the second thing you can also verify here is alpha plus beta will be minus b upon a, alpha into beta will be c upon a. That will be in the second chapter. Here now we don't have to see. So what we saw in the second chapter, we have done this before. We found out the roots of the quadratic equation and verified the sum of the roots and the product of the root are related to the coefficients here. Okay, but in this particular sum, because it is the length and the breadth, I know the length and the breadth can never be negative. So we cannot take this, we have got a positive. These both are real roots. This is also a real number. Integer it is, a fraction, negative fraction, but these both are real roots. So we can have real roots, no real roots, one real roots, or 0, 0, 1 or 2 real roots for a quadratic equation. So we have solved this sum, understood what are roots, and this is in continuation with the chapter number 2. Now we have another sum here, 3x square minus 2 root 6x plus 2 equal to 0. Now what you can see here is that the a is equal to 3, b is equal to minus 2 root 6 and c is equal to 2. A is equal to 3, b is equal to minus 2 root 6 and c is equal to 2. Now we got a root 6 here. Can we solve this sum by splitting the middle term? Now here you have to think a little differently. Can you see this negative sign here? Means the number is negative, so one number will be positive, one will be negative, but we have got a root 6 here. Now what you can observe, here there is no root 6 and here there is no root 6, but in between there is a root 6 whose integer is 2. So what we'll write here is root 6 and root 6, some plus or minus in between. We'll check it out. You know 3 root 6, sorry, written wrong. 3 root 6 minus 2 root 6 is root 6. Or we can write 2 root 6 minus 5 root 6 is minus 3 root 6. How do we do that? 3 root 6 means 3 into root 6. 2 root 6 means 2 into root 6. So in this both, if you take the root 6 common outside, what remains in the bracket? 3 minus 2. So 3 minus 2 is 1. 1 into root 6 is root 6. Here also if you take out the root 6 common, 2 minus 5 is minus 3. So I get minus 3 root 6. So here we got a root 6 in between, so I have to do some integer to find now, this integer, which will give me, okay, right? So we have to see the multiplication now. 3 twos are, what is 3 twos are? 6. 3 twos are 6. Now we have got 3 twos are 6. So A into C is 6. How will we split 6 with the difference of 2? So what I can write here, how can I split it up? Because this is a root 6, so I will have to have a sum of two numbers. Now I saw 3 root 6 minus 2 root 6 is root 6, but 3 root 6 into 2 root 6 gives me minus 36. I don't have minus 36, I have only got 6 over here. So what will we do? So what we can do is, we know 6 can be written as root 6 into root 6 or minus root 6 into minus root 6. So root 6 into root 6 is 6, minus root 6 into minus root 6 is 6. When we add this 2, this I get 2 root 6 and this I get minus 2 root 6. So minus 2 root 6 is what is there in the middle. So what will we do now? We'll have to split it up like this. 3x square minus root 6x minus root 6x plus 2 equal to 0. Now, what is 3? The step you don't need to write, but to make it simple, I can write 3 as root 3 into root 3 x square. I can write root 6 as root 3 into root 2 x. This also I will write as root 3 into root 2 x plus 2 I will write as root 2 into root 2. This step is not needed, but if you want you can write it down. Now what comes common out here? A root 3 is common and 1x is common in both. So root 3x will come out. If root 3x comes out, what remains here? Root 3x, and what remains here? Root 2. Check it out. Root 3 into root 3 is 3, x into x square. So 3x square. Root 3 into root 2 is root 6 and x, so minus root x. And in both of these what comes common? Root 2 is common in both. So I take out the minus root 2 outside. Minus I have taken here. So what remains in the bracket? Root 3x. The plus sign becomes minus. 1 I have taken common. So root 2 equal to 0. Can you see we got both these brackets are common? So we are getting root 3x minus root 2 into root 3x minus root 2 equal to 0. What is x equal to? Minus 2 goes on the, this is equal to 0. So minus goes on the right, root 2, and root 3 in multiplication comes in division. So root 3 and x equal to again root 2 upon root 3. So in this case both the roots are the same. Means this is a perfect square, you can say. When the roots are same, this ought to be a perfect square. But this is something you will have to work on to revise how to work this out. 3 into 2 is 6. So I got the 6 here. But the middle term has got root 6. So I have to divide into what? I could also write it as root 6 as root 3 into root 3 into root 2 into root 2. This would also give me 6. But because it is in the root 6, I kept it as a root 6 only. So the quadratic equation can be this type also. These are slightly tricky, but still we have to work it out. Okay? So these are quadratic equations. So first you have to learn to identify the quadratic equation and then look for a method to solve it. So the first method we know, which we did today and we also did in the second chapter, is splitting the middle term. Now we will have to do a lot of practice to understand this, but this method is called what? Splitting the middle term, which you have worked on. Now we are going to look at a new method today called completing the square method. So we have seen the method of splitting the middle term to find out the two real roots. But now before I go further into the chapter, I want to tell you something about something called the discriminant, D. Now this will come in the further lectures, but just now for your sake I will tell you what is D actually. The formula of D is under root b square minus 4ac. So what you have to do here is, you can see the quadratic equation ax square plus b plus c. You have got this equation. You have got d equal to b square minus 4ac. So check this discriminant out. If the d is less than 0, means d is a negative number and there is no root of a negative number. So if d is less than 0, there are no real roots. If d is equal to 0, there will be one real root. If d is greater than 0, there will be two real roots. So this is one thing we can do. Just remember this right now. We'll derive it later on. So let us check it out, writing a few examples here. Let us say x square minus 5x plus 6 equal to 0. X square minus 6x plus 9 equal to 0. Second equation, then we'll write 3x square minus x minus 6 equal to 0. Let us say plus 6 equal to 0. Okay? So, now let us check this out. A is 1, B is minus 5, C is 6. So what is the D here? D in this case is equal to under root of b square minus 4ac. Sorry, the d is equal to this. Not the under root, we will see the under root later on. The d is only equal to b square minus 4ac. The under root I will tell you later in the later chapters. B square, what is b? Minus 5. So minus 5 square is 25 minus 4ac. A is 1, C is 4. So 1 6 are 6, 4 are 24. So you get 25 minus 24 equal to 1. D is greater than 0. So you will have two real roots. You will have two real roots. Let us check this one. Here. Minus 6 the whole square, 36. Minus 9 ones are 9. A into C. 9 ones are 9. 9 fours are 36. 36 minus 36 equal to 0. So this will only have one real root. And this one, B is minus 1. So minus the 1 the whole square is 1 minus 6 3s are 18. 18 4s are 72. So 1 square is 1 minus 72 is minus 71. D is less than 0. So this will have no real roots. Okay? So remember this. This D is called the discriminant, which we are going to discuss in the further lecture. But if you want to see how many roots the equation has, just for your sake, then you have to find b square minus 4ac. Value of a, b and c is given. You have to do b square minus 4ac. If it is greater than 0, you will have two real roots. If it is equal to 0, you will have one real root. If it is negative, less than 0, you will have no real roots. So try to remember this. D is equal to b square minus 4ac. I am going to make you do this later on, but this is just for your knowledge sake. Now we go to the method called completing the square. Completing the square. This is one more method to solve quadratic equations, completing the square. Now let us say we have got x plus 2 the whole square. What is a plus b the whole square? It is a square plus 2 into a into b plus 2 into x into 2 plus b square. So we will have x square plus 4x plus 4. So see here, x plus 2 the whole square is x square plus 4x plus 4. This is the perfect square of this. Now we have given an equation, we have to solve x square plus 4x minus 5. We have to solve this equation. Now we can do by splitting the middle term, but today we are going to use a new one. That is called completing the square. Now compare these two equations. The first term is same, second term is same, the third term is not the same. Can you see? The first term is the same, the second term is the same, the third term is not the same. I want to make this a perfect square, so I will write x square plus 4x plus 4. So I put a plus 4 here. By putting a plus 4 here, I have changed the value of the equation. To keep it the same, I have to do a minus 4 also. So you can see x square I kept as it is, 4x I repeated, minus 5 is repeated. But to make it a perfect square, I put a plus 4 here. Because I put a plus 4 here, I have to also put a minus 4. Now this is a perfect square. What is x square plus 4x plus 4? X plus 2 the whole square. So I write x plus 2 the whole square. Minus 4 minus 5 gives me minus 9 equal to 0. This gives me x plus 2 the whole square equal to 9. Okay? Now I take the square root on both sides. So I will get x plus 2 equal to 3, the square root, but it will be plus minus 3. Always remember, why? 3 into 3 is 9, minus 3 into minus is also 9. So I got x plus 2 equal to plus minus 3. Now I will take 2, x plus 2 equal to 3 or x plus 2 equal to minus 3. When x plus 2 equal to 3, 2 goes on the right side, 3 minus 2 equal to 1, or x equal to when 2 goes on the left side, right side, minus 2 minus 3 gives me minus 5. Now I could get this by splitting the middle terms also. You can see how. I will write this as x square plus 5x minus x minus 5 equal to 0 implies x common x plus 5 minus 1 common x plus 5 equal to 0 implies x plus 5 both and x minus 1 equal to 0. So x plus 5 equal to 0 or x minus 1 equal to 0. If x plus 5 equal to 0, x equal to minus 5, here x equal to 1. Are we getting the same answers? This I did by splitting the middle term. Here I used completing the square. So what you can see here, first term was there, second term, the middle term. So this is the first term, middle term, the last term. I'll write here. What do we call it? We call this term the first term, this term the middle term, and this term the last term of the perfect square. Okay, you see, saw here. So these two terms were matching, the third term was not matching. So I put the third term here to complete the square. Then the number I took on the right side and I got it. Now comes the question, in the sums, how will you find out the last term? Is there any good way to find out the last term? Yes, there is. We can use this formula, the last term equal to middle term the whole square upon 4 into first term. You can learn this formula, last term is equal to middle term the whole square upon 4 into first term. Now, here you can use the x or you should not use the x. Better you don't use, only use a and b. Use 1 and 4, don't use the x. Because this it makes no difference. What is the middle term? 4x. So right here 4x the whole square upon 4 into the first term. What is the first term? X square. Now what is 4x the whole square? 4 square is 16. X square upon 4 into x is 4x square. X square got what? 4 ones are 4 4s are. So 4 is the last term. Can you see this? And if you had not used the x, then you would only write 4 square upon 4 into 1. That is 16 upon 4 is equal to 4. So without using the x also, you can do. So remember this. In completing the square, you will have to take the first term, the second term, and the last term you have to find to make it a perfect square. So in a perfect square, we have got first term, middle term, last term. First term plus last term, the whole square equal to first term plus middle term plus last term. How do you find the last term? The formula is middle term the whole square upon 4 into first term. So have you understood how to use this? Now we'll see graphically how we complete the square. Now this is given in the textbook, but we'll still work it out. We were given, what was the sum given to us? X square plus 4x minus 5. Now we don't want the minus 5, we want the perfect square. Let us see graphically how does it work. So we'll only take the first two terms, x square plus 4x. If I take the x common here, what I do? Get to bracket x plus 4. Now how do I show it graphically? There is x into x plus 4. Suppose you make a square. This is not a square, this is a rectangle. What kind of rectangle? Whose breadth is x. Breadth is x. But the length is x plus 4. So I got x plus 4. So I got a rectangle like this. Can you see this? X into x plus 4 is x square plus 4x. So I have got x as the breadth. What I did here, x square plus 4x, I got x into bracket x plus 4 the breadth is x, the length is x plus 4. So when I cross it here, this becomes a square, x square. And this is x plus 4. Okay? Now this 4 can be broken into two parts, 2 and 2. So this has become x plus 2, this has become 2 and 2. Now what comes next? I take out the 2 from here and rearrange it here. What I have got here now, this is x and 2, this is x and 2. Are you following what I did? Breadth was x, length was x plus 4. That 4 I broke down into two parts. One part I called 2, the second part I brought down here. So now I have got x square. So what is this x square? Length is x, breadth is x. This is x square. Breadth is x, length is 2. So this is 2x. Here also, breadth is 2 and length is x. This is 2x. So I got what? X square plus 2x plus 2x. Okay? But the square is not complete. Why the square is not complete? There is a part missing here. So I add this part to make it a square. I am adding this part. Now what part I have added? I have added a part whose breadth is 2 and length is 2. So 4 I have added here. But this part was missing here. Because I have added 4, I have to also subtract that 4. Because I added the part here to make it a perfect square, I also to remove it. So what I do, I will show you here that I added a 4 and that is I also have to remove a 4. So this has become x square plus 4x plus 4 minus 4. Now this whole square is what? X plus 2 into x plus 2. So this is x plus 2 the whole square minus 4. So what we did, this x square plus 4x, I showed you graphically what I did. First I took the x common, I got x plus 4. So the breadth is x, the length is x plus 4. This I cut into two parts and one part I shifted down here. So one 2x was here, one 2x came here. Now to make it a square, I had to add a small part here whose breadth was 2 and even length was 2. Because I added the part and even subtracted this piece which I put here, I have to remove it. So if I add, I will have to subtract. Now this becomes a perfect square whose length is x plus 2 and breadth is x plus 2. So x plus 2 the whole square minus 4. Now this is only for understanding, we do not use this. What you will use, in the sum the three terms are given equal to 0. What you will do, you will take this to be your first term, this to be your middle term, and for the last term you will use the formula. Last term equal to middle term the whole square upon 4 into first term. So when you will do it and solve, you will get a 4. So when you will add a 4 like I did before, you will also subtract a 4. So how did we solve it again? Remember, x square plus 4x. By this formula I found out the last term 4. Because I added 4, I subtracted the 4 and minus 5 was given equal to 0. So I got x plus 2 the whole square minus 9 equal to 0. So I get in this form. The 9 will then move here, finding the square root on both sides and taking the plus minus and solving the sum. So since we have understood it, let us try out one more sum. Now I have put one more sum on the board and let me compare to the previous sum. X square plus 4x minus 5 was my sum. Now you saw what we did here. If you do something called x plus say d, the whole square, we get x square plus 2dx plus d square. Okay, we have to find the last term. But now look at this equation. You will see there is a small change in this equation. In the perfect square, the first term is always a perfect square. While here 5x square is not a perfect square. You will have to write root 5x the whole square. And this is not a perfect square. So I can write it in which way? I can write it like this. Root 5x the whole square. This is one way to do it. Okay, you can write root 5x the whole square minus 6x minus 2 equal to 0. So have you followed what I did here? To make the first term a perfect square, I have written this root 5x the whole square. Should we try out the method and see if it works or not? Because the first term has to be a perfect square and here is not a perfect square. Now let us see. The last term is middle term, which we call minus 6 upon 4 into first term. 4. What is the first term? 4 into the first term. First term is root 5. So I get 36 upon 4 root 5, or I get 3, 4 9s are 36, 9 upon root 5. So this is what I get, 9 upon root 5. Now this is making the sum complex. So we are not going to use this method. We can use this method but we will not do it because it makes it complex. We will do an easier method. To make this a perfect square, I will multiply it with 5. So if you multiply this, what do you get? 25x square, 5 6 are 30, minus 30x, 5 2s are 10, minus 10 equal to 5 into 0 is still a 0. So what is the method I have used here? Because it was not a perfect square, which was the unperfect square? 5. So I multiplied 5, now I got is a perfect square. So nothing has changed in the equation. I multiplied 5 on both sides, 5 on left side and 5 on right side. I got this new equation. Now let me try working on the last term. Last term is middle term, that is minus 30 the whole square upon 4 into the first term. 4 into the first term is 25. So I get 900 upon 100, or I just get a 9. Clear? So I got a 9 which I have to add. So I get, this becomes 25x square minus 30x plus a 9. The last time I found is 9. So I put a minus 9, minus 10 equal to 0. This is a perfect square. What is the perfect square here now? If you see, this is 5x the whole square, this is 3 the whole square. So this will become 5x minus 3 the whole square, and minus 9 will go to the right side, becomes 90. Clear? Now 5x minus 3 square root equal to plus minus root 90. Why root 90? Because the square root of 90 is plus minus root 90. So 5x minus 3 equal to root 90, one positive, or 5x minus 3 equal to minus root 90, the negative. So if this is the case, then 5x equal to 3 plus root 90, or here 5x equal to minus 1 plus 3 minus root 90. So x is equal to 3 plus root 19 upon 5, or x is equal to 3 minus root 19 upon 5. So these are the two roots. You can see the roots are very complex. Now, if you are trying to solve this sum by splitting the middle term, you can see how complex it would have been. So why this method we are learning today, the new method, computing the square? Because in the 9th and in the initial chapter, in the 10th, the second chapter, we had very simple polynomials which could be solved by splitting the middle term. But you see such roots. How would you split the middle term in such a way to get these roots? Was an impossibility. Almost. Okay? This looks a very hard work, but we have made it easier. How? By learning a new method called splitting the middle term. So first you saw what we did here. How did you split the middle term? In the equation we consider this is the first term, this is the middle term, and we find the last term. With which formula? Last term equal to middle term the whole square upon 4 into first term. But again you see, this first term has to be a perfect square, which was not a perfect square. So what I did, the one which was not a perfect square, I multiplied the same number, the whole equation, so I get a new equation in which the first term is a perfect square. This is 5x the whole square. So this is a perfect square now. I know the first term, I know the middle term. Using this formula I found out the last term, added and subtracted. So this became a perfect square, and the number went on this side, then finding the root on both sides, arranging and getting the answer. So this method is called completing the square method. Okay? So here I did not use this right now, but you can check. If you are not getting any answers, now what I was meaning to say, look at this. Suppose you reach here. Now we have got this 90. Now let us say, okay, just remember this I am not doing the sum, just say it was not 19 but it was root 19. How do you find the square root of a negative number? So if this d is negative, if the d is less than 0, you will get a root under root of minus 19, and there are no real numbers which is root of a negative number, so then there will be no real roots. So if you do this arrangement, and get a negative number here, then you will write there are no real roots. Okay, remember, whenever you do this, you will write there is no real roots. So when you do this completing the middle term, you will add something and subtract something. And when you move it on this side and the number comes negative, then what you will write? That this is not having any real roots. Now, what did I tell you here? B is equal to B square minus 4AC. Remember? So how did we get B square minus 4AC? This is the B. We'll come to later on. I will show you, but remember this. So you have to practice two types of sums today. One is splitting the middle term and the second one is completing the square method. So try out a few sums and see if it works. If it does not, then you can always ask me your doubts. So I'm going to end here. Thank you.